into the near post. Header! Yes, on it! He goes to celebrate behind the goal. Could that be the goal that gives the Seagulls the League One title?
At what point did you realise your future lied elsewhere and away from the Albion?
I think pretty early, actually, before the end of the season. So it was a great season, and we managed to win the league. But yeah, I realised that my future wasn't at the football club sometime before that, unfortunately.
I know you liked living down here, and obviously you've come back now, and you've had a great season, top scorer, won the league. How hard was that?
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough, obviously, like you say. It had been a good season. I was playing with a good group of players. Scored a lot of goals, and going into a level that I'd never played at in the Championship, and obviously going into the new stadium. So it was a real tough decision for me, and it was a disappointing one that it wasn't to be.
And when did you know that Crystal Palace were interested?
Yeah, not long after the end of the season, really. There's a few clubs interested, but Palace were one that I took a liking to. And the rest is history, I suppose.
Former Albion striker Glenn Murray has joined the Seagulls' rivals Crystal Palace on a free transfer.
When did you realise that signing for Palace was going to maybe tarnish the reputation you built at Brighton?
Probably about an hour or two after Sky Sports released it. Yeah, in my time at Brighton, my first spell at Brighton, I'd obviously heard about the rivalry, but with there being such a distance between the two clubs, I never understood how fierce it was, and I'd never came across them in my time either. We were always in different divisions, never got drawn against each other in the cup or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, even that night coming back down for Palace was a real eye-opener. And
when you joined Palace, how did their fans take to you?
No, I think obviously some warmed to me immediately because I'd left their arch rivals to join them. But I mean, it wasn't a great year. My first year at Palace, I think I got 7 goals. So I went up there after scoring, I think 23 for Brighton, and to get 7 the next year, it was disappointing for me and possibly the fans up there.
Murray fancies the shot, and Glenn Murray rounds it off for Palace against his old club. He's smiling inside. He won't celebrate out of respect to his old employers.
How did that feel when you scored that goal, and why didn't you celebrate the goal?
Well, I mean, I think first and foremost, it was quite an emotional night for me because coming back to the Amex, it's sort of I'd been at the club for the previous 3.5 years, and I'd watched the Amex sort of the plans go in, and then it started to come off the ground and become finished almost, and all during my time here we were having tours around it, so it was like something we were looking forward to playing in together, and unfortunately that wasn't to be for me. So coming back that night meant quite a lot, and then obviously the result was a positive one for us. The reason I didn't celebrate is just because I had no things with the Brighton fans. You know what I mean? I didn't want to upset them. I'd had a great time at the club. It finished in success, and I wouldn't want to sort of rub salt into the wounds like that. And that's just the way I felt about the situation.
In that famous playoff game at the Amex, I know you were injured, but was it bittersweet because of the connection with Brighton? Yeah,
it was bittersweet because I had friends in the other half of obviously in the Brighton end, in the Brighton team. So it was a little bit like that, but I had to think about myself and the injury I just got, and for me on my career on a playing level, it was a great result for us.
Glenn Murray, back in the Amex, back with the Albion, and back in the goals.
Did you think about what it might do to your reputation at Palace to come back to Brighton, or did it not cross your mind?
Obviously, I think when you move clubs, you think about every scenario. But in my situation of both transfers, sort of going up to Palace and in a roundabout way coming back to Brighton, neither Brighton or Palace wanted me. So it was the decision of the hierarchy, really. If I'd been wanted by Brighton before I left, I wouldn't have signed for Crystal Palace. And if I'd been wanted by Crystal Palace at the time, I'd have never left for Bournemouth and ended up back here. So as far as I'm concerned, it's just I want to play games. I want to score as many goals as possible for whoever that may be.
When you've come back to Brighton, do you think it's going to be harder because some fans aren't going to accept you back in because of the Palace rivalry?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's difficult to change people's perception of you. I'd like to think the goals have done it, but there'll still be people out there that still doubt me and just don't like me for that one reason that I joined a rival club.
Could let Murray in, right-footed shot, and it's into the far corner.
So you said when you went to Palace you didn't understand the rivalry because geographically it doesn't really make any sense to a lot of people. Now you've played in the game and you've felt kind of the wrath of some of the fans. How much do you understand it now?
Yeah, no, I do understand it. It is actually a fantastic derby, do you know what I mean? It's fueled with a lot of passion from both sides, and I know from experience playing in these games, it's a fantastic night for all.
How would you like to be remembered from both sets of fans 10 years down the line?
Fondly. No, I hope that fans can take away some memories from some goals I've scored and some teams I've played in, and that's all I hope for, really.